Hey everyone, Pith Helmet Cosplays here, and I'm doing a quick review on, well, not really a review. This is me talking about Deltarune Chapter 2. And, it's such a good game. Blew my mind. It was announced, my mind was like, oh hell yes, here we go. And this game did not disappoint. Now, this will include spoilers, because I want to go into just some of the things I loved, some of the things that I found very interesting. So, spoiler warning, and play the game. It's not a very long game, but at the same time, it is super fun. Think of Deltarune 1, Chapter 1, but, in my opinion, 10 times better. Just because there's more sprites, there's more animation, there's more character back and forths, there's more plot development. So, pretty interesting. But yeah, anyway, back to the spoiler stuff. Now, I'm going to start off with the game's relation to Paper Trail. Now, Paper Trail is a comic. I forget who created it. I will put them in the description if I can remember who it was, or if I can find them. But 2 years ago, I watched a YouTube video based on it, where there was voice actors voice acting, the characters in the comic. And pretty much the story goes is Chris, Susie, and Rousey and Lancer go throughout different dark worlds based on the setting it's located in. So, for example, there's one underneath Azriel's bed in the main character's house. And it's called Trophy City because there are trophies in his room. And then there's another where they do the ball pit, or the ball pit jungle at Icy's Pizzeria. I think that's the name of the place in the game. But no, I thought that was super cool that now it is somewhat canon. So in this game, we go to the computer world located in the library, which is awesome. I never expected Deltarune to go this way. And it was super cool for it too. I just loved it. And yes, I'm going to say words over and over again because I'm scatterbrained. I'm tired. I can barely think straight. But this game lit up I swear, this game made my year. Made my decade. Just like the original Deltarune, I loved it. So now I'm moving on from the Paper Trail relation, and now I'm moving on to just like the character development. No, actually, let's move on to the new additions. So there are so many new additions. One, there's a collection or a collecting thing that's been added. So instead of looking for Jevel's key pieces, now we can actually recruit bad guys. Well, they're not bad guys per se, they're misled. But you can now recruit the foes that you fight, or you don't fight. If you don't fight them, you can recruit them. Apparently, I still haven't played. I need to play the fighting route, so I'm not sure. But you can collect them, and they end up in your main hub world, which is another thing, too. We have a hub world, which was awesome. So, a new hub world, by the way. Oh, and sorry. One last thing I totally forgot to mention. We can travel between the dark world and the light world at will at any time during the game. Well, okay. Correction. As soon as you start the game where you go to the library and you fight the main antagonist there, you cannot go between, or at least from my gameplay, you can't go between the light world and the dark world. But when you're in your hub world, so at the very end or at the very beginning, when you're in Rousey's castle area, which was so cool to see fleshed out with all the characters there, you can travel back and forth between the dark world and the light world. That was so cool. Okay, I never expected that to be a thing in the game. I always assumed it would always be a thing where, oh yeah, game starts, you go into the dark world, when it's done, you come out. Now, you can just go back in and out whenever you want, and that makes me excited for the full release, or Deltarune 3, because imagine if we can go between different dark worlds at any time during the game, or even better, at the very end, we can just go wherever we want. Muck around, have some fun. I love that. That's really good. That's really good game creation right there. That's nice. I love it. And then the transition between dark and light world is, it's so crisp. And yes, I'm showing footage of it. It's so good. I love that. When I saw it on the trailer, sort of a trailer, when the release happened, it was just the best surprise I'd had all year. Where he was showing us, Toby Fox was showing us the bit where they transit. I was excited. I was like, wait, what? That's cool, because in the original, all it shows is Susie and Chris falling into the darkness. It doesn't show them transitioning immediately into their characters. I love that. I'm sorry, I'm freaking out about that, but I loved it. I loved it so much. Okay, back on to sprites. There are tons of new sprites in the game. To express that, there's more expression. Susie now shows her face because she's overcome her, I want to say maybe self-loathing or not incompetence. Inconfidence? No, I'm probably saying lack of confidence. Yeah, scatterbrained. My apologies. But I love that. That's a good show of character development. You have Chris. Chris, remember, that person is literally you. You play as Chris. So Chris looks exactly... I could be wrong, but from how it looks, looks exactly the same. But they've introduced costumes for the characters. For example, there's a bit where Rousey's in a tuxedo. Best fluffy boy ever. Then you've got Susie. I already went over Susie. Susie's awesome. And then last but not least, you have your main character who can change into a doctor during some moves during battles. And I loved it. And then there's more expression too. So there's more positioning of the sprites. Like, for example, when you leave the dark world, Rousey will wave at you goodbye as you go up to the light world. And Lancer, for example, will give Susie a high five, which is freaking cool. I love that. Instead of it just being a sound effect. I love that. It just, I don't know. I know it's a 2D game, 2D side scroll, but it just makes it feel more realistic. I know it's not realistic, but it just feels so good when that's going down. I love it. Keep that going, Toby Fox. That was amazing. It blew my socks off, and I love that. So we're going to move on to... Let's see what else I should talk about, because there's so much I want to talk about. The main villain was pretty cool. Queen... wait, I've already done a spoiler warning. Okay, cool. Queen is amazing. As a villain, it reminds me of one of my best friends. Because she's an interesting sort of evil. She's not actually evil, per se. I love her back and forth between the main character. I love her back and forth between the side characters. And I love her, what's the word? I don't know how to explain her personality, but she's got that something, and it's just so fun to play off of. Like, she's trying to hide away from Birdley because Birdley's annoying her, or she's trying to look for Noelle, or she's insulting someone, or like explaining how she wouldn't know that 'cause even though she's a computer. It's fun. I love that as a villain. It is a very good antagonist to have. And I do like how at the end, if you play the pacifist, she can join you, which is so cool. Unlike the king from Deltarune 1. But mind you, Deltarune 1, he was very determined to take over the world. The queen's a bit different. The queen, when she realized what she was doing was wrong, she joined us. Because she's like, oh hell, I don't want to destroy the world. And yeah, let's go into talking about more new characters. Let's talk about Noelle. Noelle, oh my god, is an amazing character. I'm saying amazing for so many things. Take a shot every time I say amazing. Take a shot every time I say super cool or awesome or whatever. But it's just her playing off with Chris, Susie. I don't think she really talks to no, she does. She talks to Rousey at the very end. But I do like how her character dynamic between all the main characters is. It's good. It's very refreshing to have a more, what's the word? An innocent, I wouldn't say innocent. She's seen some stuff. She likes horror movies, which is awesome. But she's a more timid character. There you go. Because Rousey used to be timid, but due to his character development, he is now more confident. He has no trouble taking down bad guys. But Noelle is very submissive. She's always hiding away from stuff. Things scare her, but as the game progresses, she's getting less and less afraid of things. Like, for example, at the beginning, she's afraid of mice. At the end of towards maybe, I'd say about 20 minutes or 30 minutes past the point, you discover she's afraid of mice. She doesn't fear mice anymore. She's overcome her fear. She's learning, she's developing, and also, too, she learns to stick up for herself. So when the queen's been pushing her around for the majority of the game, because, Noelle's a very peaceful type. She doesn't want to upset anyone. She just wants to do what she feels will bring the less amount of conflict between her and whoever she's talking to. But she learns to say no to the queen, which was cool. We loved that. That was awesome, because she's sticking up for herself. She's no longer being talked over, which was happening in the first Deltarune. She's no longer being picked on being overridden. I just said that. She's becoming more confident in everything she says, and she says it with purpose now, which I love. Again, take a shot every time I say I love it, but I love this game. So, character development, amazing. New characters are amazing, overall. I love that. The villains were so cool. The side characters are amazing. We have a new Jevil character, which I loved. You'll discover him. Don't worry. He's cool. You'll love him. I'm not going to say he's Jevil, but, oh, dude. He has voice acting, by the way. So, you know how Jevil had voice lines? This character has voice lines. I'm going to let you discover him and everything about him. He's amazing. I love him. 10 out of 10. I love that character so much. And an amazing fight he has. So, yeah. So, let's go to the world and setting now. I know I probably touched on it earlier, but this new world that we've entered, the library computers lab. Oh, another thing, too. That was kind of a hint that Toby Fox dropped. The dog, the annoying dog, is in the game, which was cool, but also the dog was programming the game in that room last Deltarune the first. Deltarune Chapter 1. So cool that we followed up, and he's still there. He's in the game world, if you can find him. Oh, in a few places, sorry. You do find him towards the palace. But yeah, so cool. It's just so good. Oh, there's so many things they discover, so many things they do. Look, get the game. It's free. It's awesome. If you haven't never played Deltarune before, I highly suggest you play the first one. But if you've watched to this point, like, you kind of spoiled it for yourself. But at the same time, I had Undertale spoiled for me, like, before I finished it, and it didn't ruin the experience. So, in my opinion, Deltarune being spoiled to you won't affect that so much. But at the same time, experience it. As I said before in the beginning, please play it. I hope people play it first before they watch videos on YouTube, because it's such a good game, and it's such a good experience. I love it. I love everything about it. And, oh yeah, another bit of fine. We're going to go back to character development, because I'm so scatterbrained. It's the last thing I'll bring up before I end this video. But no, Rouse, Susie, and Noelle can now act, which is crazy. Because in the past, only Chris could act. Only Chris himself could do things like that. But now, Rouse, Susie, and Chris... Noelle can do it. They can act on their own accord now during their terms. Which is cool, because they can do things on their own now. They're not tied to each other. I love that. That's so cool. Anyway... I don't know. I love that. I'm gonna stop here, but thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I'm so scatterbrained, and I'm a totally random YouTuber that has no likes, but I wanted to just talk about this because I love the game so much. I have to get it out there that this game is so good, and just how much of a fresh breath of fresh air it was to go back to the dark world. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the dark world. Stay safe out there. And if you know anyone who might like this game, tell them about it. It's such a good game. Anyway, this is Pith Helmet Cosplays. Catch you guys later. See ya.